Welcome to this course on architectural designs and theater houses. The aim of our study is to understand how the architect's functional use of space and structures can serve the theater designer who has to build theater houses, often using ordinary local materials, and within specific cultural and political contexts. In this first module, we will begin with the historical alliance between architecture and theater, explore how design principles translate into the construction of performance spaces, and discuss the role of function, space, and materials. We will also pay attention to the relationship between artistry and engineering, and the way political, cultural, and urban planning decisions affect the form of theaters. 1.1 The historical alliance of architecture and theater. The connection between architecture and theater is ancient. From the Greek amphitheater at Epidaurus to the Roman Colosseum, theater has always relied on architectural design for its very existence. These structures were more than buildings, they were cultural statements, reflecting social values and civic identity. Greek architects created open-air theaters carved into hillsides, using natural acoustics to carry voices to thousands of people. Roman architects refined this by developing freestanding theaters with stone vaulting, expanding both scale and accessibility. During the Renaissance, architects and artists worked hand in hand to recreate classical forms, leading to indoor playhouses and opera houses that emphasized symmetry, perspective, and ornamentation. The Baroque period added grandeur and illusion, making theater architecture part of the spectacle itself. This long alliance shows us that theater cannot exist without architecture, and architecture gains cultural weight through its service to performance. 1.2 Functional use of space in theater architecture. A central concern of theater architecture is the functional use of space. Unlike other buildings, a theater house is defined by its relationship between performer and audience. Architects must solve questions such as, how do we seat hundreds or thousands of people so that all can see and hear? How do we manage entrances, exits, and circulation? How do we create a stage that is flexible enough for various performances? Space in theater houses is divided into three zones. The performance space, which may be a stage, an arena, or a flexible platform. The audience space, including seating, aisles, and balconies. The service space, such as backstage areas, dressing rooms, storage, and technical facilities. The success of a theater design depends on balancing these areas in a way that is functional, efficient, and aesthetically pleasing. 1.3 Local materials and cultural context. One of the key challenges for theater designers is the use of ordinary local materials. In many contexts, expensive imported materials may not be available or sustainable. This forces architects to adapt, finding creative ways to use wood, bamboo, clay, brick, stone, or even recycled materials. This practice not only reduces cost but also roots the theater in its cultural and environmental setting. A bamboo theater in Asia, a mud brick performance space in Africa, or a timber playhouse in Europe reflects both tradition and resourcefulness. Local materials also influence acoustics, temperature control, and maintenance, making them central to functional design. 1.4 The interdependence of artist and architect. Theater design is not the work of the architect alone. The theater designer, stage director, and artists bring their visions, while the architect translates these into structural reality. For example, a stage designer may envision a flexible black box theater, while the architect ensures the structural integrity, safety, and circulation of such a space. This collaboration extends to engineers, lighting designers, and urban planners. In the end, a successful theater house emerges from an interdependent network of creative and technical minds. 1.5 Architecture, politics, and urban planning. Theater houses do not exist in isolation. They are products of cultural priorities, political will, and urban planning. Governments often build theaters as symbols of national pride or cultural investment. Cities may place theaters in central districts to revitalize public life. Urban planning decisions, such as zoning, transportation networks, and land allocation, directly shape where and how theaters are built. Political decisions about funding, cultural policy, and public access determine whether theater houses serve broad populations or remain exclusive monuments. 1.6 Engineering and acoustics in theater architecture. Theater houses require sophisticated engineering solutions, especially for acoustics. A whisper on stage should be heard in the back row. This requires careful shaping of walls, ceilings, and seating layouts. Engineers and architects design for sound reflection, absorption, and diffusion, ensuring clarity and balance without excessive amplification. Structural engineering also ensures that large spans are safe, balconies are stable, and lighting rigs are secure. The engineering of theater architecture, therefore, is inseparable from its artistic goals. In this module, we trace the historical alliance of architecture and theater, examine the functional use of space, and consider the importance of local materials and cultural context. We also explore the collaboration between artist and architect, and the role of politics, urban planning, and engineering. Theater houses are not just buildings, they are cultural instruments shaped by history, environment, and society.